I'm sure just like you, I've had many different friends through the course of my life, different friends at different levels of passion, of combined interest, of things that we were fascinated with. But one particular friend, a guy by the name of Ronnie Aikens, sometimes he even watches this morning video. We were high school buddies. In fact, for a season, he even lived with us in our house as his family was going through some transitions. And Ronnie and I used to have this one commitment that we made to each other, that when we asked the question, so what are you thinking? We literally answered the question with the most recent thought going through our head. And it didn't matter if, I wonder why that trash can is turned upside down, was the question going through our head as we drove through a neighborhood, or if it was some random thought about what peanut butter and ketchup might taste like together. Our commitment to each other was that no matter what thought just went through your head, no matter how gross, how ridiculous, how stupid, or how pointless it was, we would be honest and transparent with each other and actually throw that thought out there and answer it. And that became very fascinating. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. I can tell you, as I work as a leadership coach, how often I run across people who can't really even answer a basic question without a whole lot of delayed thought before the answer. Not because it's a complicated question. And not because, well, I hold so many secrets, I have to be careful which ones I reveal, but because over their life experiences, they've never really had that kind of relationship where being transparent, being open and honest, being completely vulnerable was either A, acceptable by the person on the other side, or B, not self-destructive. I work with leaders who are sometimes pastors and sometimes CEOs, and they own their own companies, and they have employees, and they have families, and they have a lot at stake. And when you really start digging into what somebody's thinking, what's going on in their mind, it can be heartbreaking to deal with the truth. It can be more heartbreaking to harbor it. I don't want to harp on the idea for too long, but there's a reality that the transparency, the trustworthiness of friends around you could have been a huge contribution to the fall of the Global Media Summit and Bill Hybels. I don't know Bill Hybels well enough personally to say he's not that kind of guy. That behavior is not even indicative of him. I don't have a clue. Unfortunately, I also know that media and organizations that are haters, for lack of a better term, would be glad to expose the faults of any one of us if they felt like, A, it would sell, as they used to say in the old days, if it'll sell newspapers, print it. True or otherwise, we'll retract it later if we have to, but if it'll sell it, print it. That's not the kind of friend you need in your life. You don't need the kinds of friends in your life that will take the data that you share with them, take the inside information from your heart and your mind and your soul, and peddle it to the people around you. You need someone who is a true friend that you can share your thoughts with, that may look at you and go, that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. Or who would look at you and go, I know how you feel. So I've put there in the body of this video just 3 litmus test questions that I require. Now, first and foremost, and it has been the condition of my marriage for over 24 years now, that we are as direct and honest with each other as we feel safe doing. The last 15 years, it's been even better than it was in the first 10, because I carried a lot of lies and secrets of my own in the first 10. But we have a very open marriage. We have a very direct marriage. Even when I coach guys who are struggling with the kinds of addictions that I did, I tell them my best accountability partner is my wife. I don't hide anything from her. Absolutely nothing. Sometimes she's like, okay, I didn't want to know that. But I share everything so that there is no deception, there is no lie. Secondly, though, in the 3 litmus test questions on the screen, I want you to apply them. And they are really simple. First off, anyone that you're going to pour out your soul to, that you're going to share your mind with, should be someone who is of equal or higher intellectual capacity. Meaning, you're not talking to a fence post or a wall who hears what you're saying and goes, oh yeah, that's really well thought out. And that's the end of the conversation. I'm not making fun of the accent. I'm making fun of the idea of thinking, I don't have anything else to say. I don't know what to reply to you. They need to be of superior intellect, or at minimum equal intellect with you. They need to understand the conversation you're having with them. They need to be of equal spirituality with you. They need to be willing to say, I get this, and according to what we believe, man, you are off track. Or, wow, I never really thought about it like that. That's good stuff. Secondly, they need to be equally invested. They need to know that if they open their mouth and tell everybody else your deepest, darkest secrets, they have as much to lose, because they told you deep, dark secrets as well as you do. If those first two conditions are not met, don't even bother going on with the third. But if the third one is met, the first two may be worked into over a period of time, and that is that they love you enough that no matter what you share, they got your back. They may hear you say, man, I am really struggling with this, or I can't understand how this happened, or my life has been devastated like this. And no matter how bad you dump it on them, their love absorbs it, and they say, I'm still on your side. There are those friends, and I don't have any right now. I hope I don't need one, but the kind of friend, if you call and say, hey, I killed somebody, they'd be like, I'm here for you, man. Not, oh my gosh, I'm running, I don't want you to kill me. But they would be there for you no matter what. There are a few friends like that in the world. And if you don't have one, try being one. And if you're a pastor or a leader or a CEO or an entrepreneur who is in desperate need of someone to share that life with, I'd suggest you start with your spouse. But if that relationship isn't there yet, find a friend who has as much to lose as you do. There's an organization called C12. Their premise is kind of based on the idea of mentoring and leading one another, even in those challenging times, because they have as much to lose as the other, but they also have a lot of advice to share. Maybe you should try a group like that. But don't try to lead on your own when nobody's got your back, because that'll destroy you and everything that you've built. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.